This dude years ago, a poet, he said that look at this picture, and he takes me to this picture, and he says, it's a beautiful picture, right? Beautiful painting, huh? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, it's beautiful. Now, would a frame make it any more beautiful? Does this picture need a frame for it? And I looked at the painting, and I was like, nah. It doesn't need a frame. It speaks for itself. He's like, yeah, dude, that's exactly right. You don't need a frame, bro. Just spit. He said, don't try to frame it. Don't try to frame your art. Don't try to frame what it is that you're doing. Just spit. And he was the host for this open mic that I'd go to, and he'd seen me perform for a while, and there was just a lot, felt like I had some things in common in terms of just style and yeah, just some developmental creative things. And he's just like, yo, just spit. You don't need a frame to do this, You don't need a frame. And that hit me in a lot of ways then, just on a level of feeling. And now I'm dealing with some changes in me that are happening inside. Not so much outside. Not so much here, but within. More so within me than around me. There are some changes that I feel are happening, and some shifting. I'm coming out of the night into the light, and it's as I'm getting closer, it's getting brighter and brighter to the point that I'm beginning to see it. And what I'm starting to see is he was right in a way that I didn't know at the time. Sometimes you get a lesson, and part of why you received the lesson is because you're less on, you're not as on point. You're not as on point, and so you get a lesson so you can lessen what's off about whatever it is that's being thought about or being felt or being experienced, and are being lived. That's particularly life lessons, which are all lessons to me, are life lessons. And it was something that I didn't know how just how correct that was for me, and I'm attempting to correct that. And I think I have been in my journey very stuck in a desire for perfection, the perfecting of the process, and learning. I'm learning again. I'm relearning how to let some things go, and how to be okay being less on, because that's life lessons happen when we're less on. If we were more on point, if we were more on the ball, I don't think we need all the lessons that show up in life. But we're not on the ball all the time. We're not on the ball. For me, I'm not on the ball, even half the time at points, and so being less on, it points to the lessons. It points to the lessons in life to be learned and lived, and allowed. So I'm saying this out loud in part to keep myself on ongoing in that process that I'm growing in. And I'm growing without the need for the pot, you know, without the need for the frame, without having the perfect plot and story to tell, and instead letting the story tell, you know, letting the story tell is becoming more and more important. So by allowing myself to trail off, to step off the trail, off the beaten trail, off the beaten path, and when you let yourself do that, when you let things trail off, you know, when you step off and away from needing a trailer, needing the sneak peek, needing a summary or like a brief, you know, Spark Notes version of whatever it is you're attempting to immerse in, you become the kind of person that can receive lessons in life. And being able to learn is one thing. Being able to relearn is everything. Is everything. And so I'm allowing myself to relearn again and again. This lesson that shows up from being less on point, as I've been less on point recently, and at this point in my life, you know, and I've been seeking the points. I've been seeking the constellations. I've been seeking like what the conversation is trying to tell me, and the journey with that is just letting that story tell. So no frames are needed. No frames are needed. I used to wear these glasses, these 3D glasses. I would poke the and you'll see me with them on in my Spell It Out videos. I have these 3D glasses on, and I used to wear them because I needed to be reminded, right? I needed to be reminded of something important, which is that there are things that no lens, and I that's why I took the lenses out of the 3D glasses. There are things that no lens can allow you to see, you know, that you cannot see always with your eyes. There are things happening inside of you and around you that you're not always going to be able to perceive with your senses. And to be an awareness of that, and to have a perspective of not having a perspective, to have a perspective of no perspective, to taking a lens of life in which you don't have a lens to necessarily look at life or necessarily look at things, you begin to see. And you know, it's something that my friend told me. You know, he said, look, see, between those two things, sometimes you have to not look so intently. Sometimes you just have to see, you know. Sometimes, and this is how I translate, is that there's a difference between listening and hearing. For me, it's different. I'm not getting into textbook definitions here. This is just how these terms speak to me. You know, in the same way that, like, when you're looking for something, there's more of an intent. You know, it's why I say, oh, I'm looking for this. Or, you know, we don't say I'm seeing for this. We say I'm looking for a piece of paper, or I'm looking for something that I lost. You know, we say we look, and when we look, it's intentional. It's us actively, you know, seeking whatever it is we want to know. And that's important. That can be really powerful. But there's another side of this that I have been that has been speaking to me, that I've been trailing off towards. And that side says, see. focus on finding the thing that you need to find, you know? Don't focus on exactly where it is that you're going. You don't have to know the particulars. Allow yourself. Allow. When you see, you allow, you know? Seeing is just taking in. It's simply, it is a unhinged way of taking in. It's unhinged. It's unframed, right? There are no lenses that you need to see. You know, when it comes to this kind of seeing, and to be able to see, it helps you when you're trying to look. It helps you when you're trying to look. You know, and this is the reason why we use lenses or you know, glasses and things. Like when you have a hard time seeing, you get lenses and they help you see so you can look for things. You can look at things. But this is a different kind of see. This is allowing your blurry vision. This is allowing the unknowns to be unknown. This is not trying so hard to tell the story of your life, but letting the story of your life tell you things and inform some things. Inform some things. And this is why I say, like, there's some things that have been shifting. There's some things that have been just shifting, like, in me. You know? That have been shifting in me. And rather quickly, in correlation to what things have taken me to get at other times in my past. And so I am not leading right now. And this process of seeing over looking, of hearing over listening, of instead of, you know, trying to find a particular sound, just allowing sounds, allowing the sounds around me to just do what they do without having to listen to a particular sound or noise, you know? In this process of letting the story tell versus telling the story, frameless, aimless, less on, being less on. Because life is sometimes less on than we want to be. We're less on point. We're less on the mark. We're far more amiss, you know, than we are precise. So I'm inviting that mystery into my life more recently than I have been. You know, I've been trying to really define what it is that I'm doing on this YouTube channel, for instance. Really defining it and grinding it down. And that's been important. That's been important. I want to talk about these. I call it therapy for F students. And yeah, therapy for F students. And the 4 is not F-O-R, it's F-O-U-R. You know, the therapy for F students. And because there are 4 F's to it. And the 4 F's, and I might even just take this order and put it in reverse to see what works. But the order I've been, you know, operating it in so far has been, you have free choice, then you have find and foster focus, and then you have fellowship, followed by finally foundation building. And I have, the free choice aspect of it is all about like agency. It's all about having agency, you being the one that is actually choosing the thing. Because if you're not the one actually choosing whatever it is you're doing in your life, if you're just kind of allowing it to be chosen for you, allowing something else or someone else or some version of yourself that's not really you choose that, it's not really free. You're not free. You're a slave to something else. You're a slave to something else. You're a slave to someone else or something else or somewhere else. You're a slave to the conditioning. So it's about and there's a song that's really good about with this dude, a rapper in Pittsburgh, Reason. He talks about agency. He has a track called Agency that him and Doc Lovely did on the album. Oh man, the name of the album, I'm missing the name right now. Oh man, goodness. Learned Process is the name of the album. Learned Process. If you look up Reason and Doc Lovely, Learned Process, you'll find this song. I think they have a Bandcamp for it, but they do have a Bandcamp for it, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, but yeah, that's free choice. And then Find and Foster Agency says, well, once you've found your agency, once you're freely, it is you that is freely choosing what it is that you want to be pursuing. It's about like, how do I take that and really laser that into my life, How do I not only take that agency to find things that I want to focus on as who I am, but then foster those things and cultivate those things in my life in a daily basis. So that's Find and Foster Focus, and that's the phase that's the F phase that I was in before. Recently, I've stepped into, and just recently, not too long ago, I've stepped into this other phase. And I was I was really, the past couple months I've been, not more than the past couple months, I've been in Find and Foster Focus. I've been in that phase of F, longer than a couple months. Probably more like 6 or 7 months, I'd say. But yeah, I'm stepping into this other phase of fellowship. And fellowship is about like once you find and foster that which is what you're here to focus on and or the things that you're here to focus on, it's letting those things lead you and you following, Often, in our world, we make leadership a thing that's important. I think fellowship is actually can be a really pivotal process. I think fellowship is a pivotal process. So, which is, again, focused on just following the things that bring you joy and seeing where they lead you. And this is why I've been more focused on being. I've been more so just allowing myself to be aimless and frameless, and less on, less perfection, man, and more just progression. So it's been there's been a lot of there's been just a question as to, in the midst of what I've been attempting to do, and what I've been attempting to channel, that has been really communicating to me that it's important to see right now more so than to look, to see more so than look. And so yeah, it becomes, And then, you know, things get brought into focus. Eventually, things do get brought into focus. But allowing the vision to be blurry, allowing yourself just to kind of see, you get to perceive some things, and you get to allow some things that you can't perceive to impact you. So that's been kind of my thing, has been allowing things that I can't perceive to impact me positively, and constructively. Letting go, man. Letting go. It's just, man, woman, whoever you are. Letting go. Letting go. You know, I do a lot of these walks where I walk through dark places. When I do these walks I've been doing. These talks, these twalks. Yeah. It's letting it go. You know, letting things just be what they are. It's taken me far, and it's gonna take me much farther.